Hello and welcome to Billy Ho Sports. We are back again, updating that Breeders' Cup Classic. It's another Contenders series, and I'm crossing it over with a recap of the Awesome Again Stakes at Breeders' Cup host track Santa Anita Park. So we're going to jump right in, but before we do not forget, please subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and leave me a comment. Tell me what you think about Slow Down Andy. Okay, Slow Down Andy started his racing career as a 2-year-old with a maiden win at First Asking at Santa Anita Park. Then he followed that up with a just missed second place in his first stakes run at Del Mar. And then in his third outing, despite his 2-year-old distracting behavior down the stretch that nearly cost him the race, Slow Down Andy regroups to close out his 2-year-old season with this grade 2 win we're watching, the Los Alamitos Futurity. And it was only a 5-horse field, but he did go up against a really, really good stakes horse, Messier, that year. Now, this is his 2-year-old campaign, 2021. So we're looking back in the fall of 2021 and then turning 3 in the spring of 2022. Slow Down Andy enters the Derby Trail. And he starts off a little bit rocky, disappointing sixth place finish in the Risen Star at the fairgrounds. Ton of really, really tough competition in that. But he did bounce back after that to go win the Sunland Derby to punch his ticket to the Big Dance Kentucky Derby 2022. But unfortunate for him, he had to skip the entire Triple Crown, came down with an illness just a couple of weeks before the 1st of May. So he took a long, long layoff. Excuse me. And then he returned and finished a pretty strong 3-year-old campaign. He wins the Del Mar Derby. Then he has back-to-back third place finishes. Actually, I'm not going to show it to you, but last year's Awesome Again Stakes, he runs third. And then he goes to the big ass fans, Breeders' Cup Mile. Oh gosh, excuse me. If you look at this race at Keeneland, he really come around the stretch coming home. I think maybe the jockey took a bad angle. I don't know, Gutierrez. If you look at the race, he has a shot to get close, but he gets squeezed out in the 2 path and has to veer over to the 4 path. And that redirect alone just he wasn't going to beat this Cody's Wish breakout from last year. So the 4 path, and he does close and makes another rally. So the more I watch this horse and these past performances, the more I like him. I really didn't think a whole lot of him earlier this year when I first started looking at him in June, but we'll get to that. So anyway, he closes out 3-year-old in that Breeders' Cup Mile, and then we do not see him again for over 8 months. He comes out in June, this past June, in the Met Mile, where he did finish 6th. That was another Cody's Wish dominant performance. It wasn't all that bad an effort in the Met Mile, though. I don't have the video for that one, but he did run with the leaders all the way up until the stretch, and that's typical of a first off of a 8-month layoff. You run really hard for 89% of the race, and then you just don't have that last 11%. Didn't have enough force, and so he fell back. The next race he runs is the San Diego Handicap, which I am going to show you. And he actually looked to win this race late. He took the lead. He's the one horse, if you're not looking, if you're watching at home, taking the lead deep into the stretch, but just unable to hold off the late charging Senor Buscador. But that was definitely what you would call an improvement off in the second off the layoff. So he enters the third race, the Pacific Classic. Now, he is the 7 horse in this race, and he's running right along with the number 9 horse eventual winner, Arabian Lion, all the way into the stretch. Unfortunately, I don't think it affects the outcome, but he just does swing out a hair bit wide into the stretch, but didn't have enough gas in the tank to finish. Nice third place finish. So that leads us into the latest and greatest, last week's Awesome Again Stakes. And he's breaking from post number 3. Slow down, Andy. He goes right out to the lead, and I thought that was a really good strategy by the connections to take any kind of leverage that National Treasure might try to get as the early leader, like slowing the pace down, like he's been known to do. So Slow down, Andy does it a little differently. He goes right out to the lead and opens up in an opening quarter of 22.97. That's flying, keeping it rolling through the half mile in 46 and change. And man, this horse is looking good. He's on total cruise control through the 3/4 miles in 110 and change. And so by the time they're headed for home, he still has plenty of horse left down the stretch to hold off Defunded's late rally and National Treasure fading away into the distance. Senor Buscador slides into that third place. Senor Buscador is kind of an interesting horse as well. But that was just a very, very, probably the most impressive performance, I would say, especially of the races that I've watched. So he's got about, I guess, 5 weeks to rest up. But Slow Down Andy is looking to speed Slow Down Andy will be looking to speed things up first Saturday in November in the Breeders' Cup Classic. I absolutely think he'll go. And he's definitely put himself into true contender category, in my opinion. Which going back and looking at all these great performances, he's got a ton of seconds. He's hit the board almost every time. So I was probably always a contender, judging by the game logs themselves. So I hope you enjoyed the profile on Slow Down Andy. I think I will have some interest in him next month. So until more videos come out, we're going to have more contenders. We're going to have more Breeders' Cup races. We're really, really going to start cranking things up. So until the next time, thanks for watching. See you soon.